So hi, buongiorno is what I mean to say.
Spaghetti.
Spaghetti, yes. Me Italiano is pessimo, pessimito. Like the only thing. And I was saying it wrong, which is just funny. Yeah, thank you for joining us. It's great to see you here. Was there on our team, we've got Nicola, myself, and Kasia who were in Turin. Is there anyone else on the call who was in Turin? No, speak now. Your piece. No, okay, great. Well, if anyone else jumps on, we'll just check with them. So we're just happy to hear from everyone, and obviously 3 whole days of inspiration is impossible to condense into a short meeting like this. Certainly the flavor and the vibe of having 8,000 people in one room is just it's we're not going to do it justice, but we can at least try and give you some of basically our highlights. So we thought we would just take it in turns to maybe just share some of our top things, top takeaways with you. So the first day, well, aside from convention, I just want to say the food was really good. Oh my goodness. And just the connection and being with people, and some the conversations in the corridors, connecting with people from different teams, and learning, like even just meeting like a German leader who's using Symphony of the Cells to grow his business, and just chatting with him in the queue. Like, to me, that a lot of the value was in those moments that are outside the sort of formal convention as well. So there's just too much to share, but yeah, if we start with the empowerment day, which was the first day. So Thursday was the business day, the empowerment day, and then the Friday, Saturday was the convention, and the Friday night was the celebration evening as well. So I know Kasia was there for some of empowerment day, but is there any takeaways from that, Kasia, you want to share? Any top takeaway from the empowerment day?
Hi. So, I mean, our plane was very, very late, 3 hours late, and we got really early. We didn't sleep all night, me and Nicoletta. So we went straight from the airport to the empowerment day. Actually, I didn't have a ticket for this day, and Nicoletta didn't think she had a ticket, but then she realized that she actually did have a ticket for the empowerment day. So we only just went for maybe just over an hour because we were just so tired. And but I listened to Natalie and Andy Goddard, and I really love them. And Natalie is my master coach because I did the Essential Emotions coaching course. So it was lovely listening to them. What exactly? I'm not able to tell you really what, Alison, I can't remember now from the top of my head what they were saying. They were very inspirational, and I just love their energy, but I haven't got any notes.
Yeah,
So,
no, they were talking about actually a lot of emotional release in terms of
yes,
business.
about the emotional release. And I know they were doing the course, I did the course online, but they were doing the course that same evening, like a 3-hour course. So yeah, they were just saying how important it is to release your emotions and use the oils for that, and just to just to try and encourage your clients, I think, to do the same.
Yeah,
I was exhausted. I felt their energy, and I loved the vibes, but I can't remember exactly what they were saying. I just got the gist of it. It was to do.
That's right. I've got some notes which I can just read
Yeah,
out.
you've got the notes. I haven't got any notes.
No,
Sorry.
that's all right. The notes are never going to sort of portray the
Exactly.
energy. I think they're really talking about how, when you're in a leadership position and you're dealing with people, there's always challenges, there's always like conflicts or, different opinions. And
right.
often you can get really caught up in that. And I think, anyone that's maybe been building doTERRA and even just dealing with rejection and doing the classes and then no one shows up, we all experience that. They were just talking about not holding on to that energy. And so I think Natalie, I've written down on Tuesday, she has a coaching call with her mentor to be able to, sort of release it verbally.
Right.
Wednesday, she has a massage booked in every
Oh,
week.
yes, I remember that.
Thursday, they do like a movement exercise where they literally shake off. And then Sunday, they go to church and they worship and release and surrender to God. So that's their, like every week, they're the 4 things that they're doing, which I thought was really, it's just great to see people who you think have just got it all together and got like millions of people on their team, literally, and they're still just human. Which is really lovely.
Yeah, I remember that now. And they were saying like these are like non-negotiables. They do it every week, and it's like part of self-care as well for them.
Yeah.
Can you just repeat what they do?
Yeah, so on Tuesday they have a coaching call with their mentor, and they go through a list of their triggers, like so the things that have come up for them, so they verbally are able to sort of release what's bothering them, I guess. Wednesday which I don't know about Andy, but Natalie has a massage every week. On Thursday they have a movement coach who specifically works with emotion, and she was actually there. She was doing a session, but it was at 7 a.m. so I can't say that I went to it. 7 a.m. the night after the celebration night. So but yeah, she does, sort of that somatic release, but focusing on the energy blocks. And then on Sunday they go to church. So she talked about, her worship and surrendering, giving it to God. So that's their non-negotiables weekly, and obviously other things, and obviously the oils and all sorts during the week as well.
Interesting.
Yeah, and they had an emotions course on the Thursday night, which again I didn't go to. It was just too much on, but they did hold that as well. Yeah, so I'll just share there's so much that, the business day is always my favorite day. So it's hard to choose, but I'd say the top things that stood out for me were somebody who he last year was a diamond, or I think it was at leadership last year. He was a diamond, so he had 4 silvers on his team, and I wish I'd taken a photo, but he basically like listened to one of the other speakers talking about, that launch energy that's needed to take a plane off the runway, that big energy that it really does take to get things actually having that full momentum, and then you can go on to the not cruise control, what's it called on a plane, gosh,
Automatic pilot.
Yeah, that's it. But you don't just start off on autopilot. It takes that effort, and he said it put a rock up his bum, and he set himself a challenge of running 100 classes in a year. And he just smothered his town. Like he put posters up in cafes, in gyms, in like the local post office, like every poster board anywhere that he could find. He just put posters up. He sponsored ads on Facebook. He just put up free essential oils class. And after a year later, he achieved 58 classes. So he was like, so my challenge, and there's all these beautiful different accents as well throughout the whole few days. It's I can't remember, I think he was Italian actually. So he's like, so I failed the challenge. He's like, but I'm now an Italian founder, blue diamond. I've got a presidential diamond on my team. I've got 2 other blue diamonds on my team. I've got 6 diamonds. I've got this. I've got, it's like, well, so okay, so he failed his challenge, but look how it had actually exploded his business. And it was really about that, that big momentum, that big effort. And there was another leader who shared the same, that she gave herself a challenge to enroll 20 people in 30 days. And she's done it 3 times now. And the last time she did it, she enrolled 32 in 16 days. So each time she does it, she now gets more enrollments in less days. And she just does anything. So she'll go into a local cafe and have like a well-being day, and say, look, every customer that buys something, I'm happy to offer a free hand massage. Not everyone obviously wants that, but she said, sitting there for an afternoon, she gathered 16 contacts and then followed up with them, and 14 of those have enrolled onto her team. She did like a Wim Hof breathing session, and it was mostly men, and she'd enrolled 3 of those men. So it was just doing you can do anything creatively. So I just love that idea of, I think for myself personally, because I built to diamond, and then, you know, COVID hit and everything's gone quieter, and then I've moved countries, and that realization that, okay, yeah, I did do that. I did do a rocket launch of my business initially, but I can't, you know, I'm going to have to do that again to get things moving again. And I think it was the penny drop for me. So that was, you know, certainly like doing something big like 100 classes challenge is, yeah, excites me. I've got, oh, she also, this lady who did the 30 days, like 20 enrollments in 30 days, she was saying she just used every single pocket of time available. So there was no scrolling, there was no Netflix, there was, you know, if she was waiting to pick up her child at the school gate, she was either talking to somebody or she was texting and replying and following up, or, you know, she just made it her like obsession just for 30 days. She said, I can't keep that up as a full-time thing, like you'll burn out. So for her, like doing it intensely for 30 days, you know, maybe 3 times a year is better for her than the 100 classes a year. So you just got to pick what's right for you. But you know, I guess that really landed with me. I also, a couple of just strategic things that I liked was that someone was saying when they run a class, so whenever somebody enrolls, I automatically say, or the protocol is, oh, somebody else is joining, let me just let them in. You know, the protocol is to that I'll give you a call in about 10 days when your oars have arrived, you've had a chance to play with them, and you can ask me any questions. And I always, without fail, set up that wellness consults call when I've enrolled somebody. But this somebody, I can't remember who was saying it's really bad, but they said they schedule a call with everybody. So people who don't enroll, she'll schedule a call with them to follow up with them. And I thought that's really smart. You know, that's really, really smart to not just be following up with those who are enrolling. So that was good as well. I was really inspired by the celebration evening, which I know is not, but still related to the business, because there's 62 new diamonds in Europe. I can't remember how many blue diamonds. It was still a lot, probably another 20 maybe, something like that, or maybe not quite that many, and quite a number of presidential diamonds. So Europe is absolutely going off. It's maybe, you know, UK's got a bit of catching up to do, and it really sort of stood out that there's so much potential here, but there's lots going on. And the final highlight for me from the Empower Day was Emily Mascarenhas, who is from the UK. She was on a panel about inviting, and she spoke about the pipes. So we've got the pipes, we know, prepare, invite, present, enroll, support. But she put this so beautifully, and I feel like I'm going to really mess it up. But the idea she explained was that those pipes are they're the foundation. We all follow the pipes, but the pipes are empty, and it's really our essence and our love and our authenticity and our, you know, our own intention that needs to flow through those pipes to really be able to connect with people and really make them, you know, to make them have stuff flowing through them. And I thought that was really beautiful. But she said, but the people get that, you know, people do often get that, but what that sometimes ends up is in people recreate the wheel, because they feel like they've got to recreate everything with their flavor. They've got to recreate all the presentations so that it matches their energy. So it was about using what's there, using the structure and the foundation of the pipe, but just infusing your essence through it, but not, you know, not taking it to that further step where you're recreating everything. So I thought that was a really nice sort of visual that really landed with me as well. So yeah, so much more to share about the Empowerment Day, but I think we will maybe move on to the convention. I've actually got, I meant to show this, just the little highlight reel from that they put together somehow so quickly, like literally had, sorry, my computer's being a bit slow. They were showing this about 2 minutes after having filmed stuff. I don't know how they did it so quickly, but oh, I'm sorry, my computer is doing very weird things. Maybe Kasia or Nicola, do you want to share your first things while I get this up and running, like your first highlights?
Yeah, for me, because I'm a sort of facts and figures kind of girl. So what I really loved is that on the second day, they had the doTERRA Chief Medical Officer doing a talk on the new product, the new probiotic that's coming out called PB Restore. And he went into quite a lot of the detail. And one of the things that stood out on this new product that's coming out is that a lot of the probiotics that are on the shop floor at the moment, you know, your usual Holland and Barrett and those you can buy in Boots and other chemists, most of them haven't actually been updated and reviewed for at least 15 years. So he was saying that doTERRA brought out PB Assist in 2009 and then a PB Assist Plus in 2012. And obviously now they're bringing out a latest version because they are constantly looking at the science, whereas other companies, they've still got the same ingredients and recipe, if you like, that they had 15 years ago when Gut Bio first really sort of come onto the market. So what I loved is that doTERRA are constantly looking at the science and re-looking at the science. One of the other things that they mentioned with regards to what product was it? Sorry, give me 2 secs. Oh, when they were looking at he also did a talk on how the industry is full of adulterated oils and how pure and consistent doTERRA oils are. And what he mentioned, which I found quite interesting, is that in the pharmaceutical industry, the main active ingredient in any drug that you would buy has got a deviation of 5%. So if, for example, your aspirin is 100% aspirin, you might not be getting 100% aspirin. You might be getting 95 or 105 as the main ingredient. So it makes it really, really difficult when you're dosing between, you know, small children and adults and things like that. doTERRA actually have a variation, a differentiation of 1%. So when you buy a doTERRA product, if, for example, you're buying lavender, where the main active ingredient is linalool, you will be getting that they aim to, for lavender, they aim to have linalool at 33.2, I think it's 25%, but you always get only 1% deviation in that, whereas actually our pharmaceutical industry have got a much wider deviation. So doTERRA's standards are a lot higher than pharmaceutical companies. So I really loved that. Just trying to think what else. I mean, there were so many things. Trying to think what else there was. I mean, he's gone through the new so there's a new MetaPower, some new MetaPower products that are coming out that are even more got more amino acids in them, and they've got micro and macro nutrients in them. And then going back to the PB Assist, they have got the new probiotics. We've got probiotics, prebiotics, and postbiotics, and I never even knew that those 3 things existed. I'd always heard of probiotics, but never heard of prebiotics, but never heard of postbiotics. So I'm really hoping that they actually bring out all the slides, because the stupid thing was I'm blind as a bat, and they put yellow or orange writing on a white background, and then vice versa, and I can't read that. I don't know if you've got the slides yet. Have you, Alison?
We started screen sharing.
Hang on,
Yeah.
the computer's ridiculously slow, but yeah, some of the things you've just been talking about, I've actually some of the
Good.
slides on. We can come How do I just move forward the slide without?
You have to click on the actual line, and then you should get a little, that's it, you'll get like
Oh yeah,
if you actually click on that red line.
They
Oh,
would
you can do it there. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're the new
Yeah.
products. We'll talk about.
Oh, that was the other thing. They actually said that PubMed, when we were talking about the adulteration of products, PubMed actually said have issued a published paper saying that there is no one in the world produces birch oil with the exception of doTERRA. So it's actually a published, peer-reviewed medical science document issued on PubMed that actually, because they've tested all the birch oils that they can find in the world, and none of them are birch oils. They're
Yeah.
actually either wintergreen or a mixture of all sorts, but being sold as birch oil. And if companies are doing that just on birch oil, what the hell are they doing elsewhere? So when I set up my classes going forward, I'm really going to focus on the purity. Not that I haven't been, but I've got a lot more information now to back that up. So that was the highlight, because I'm just like a geek when it comes to that sort of thing. But yeah.
And
So
that really stood out for me as well. It's one of the things I'd written down. So with that, the ISO, which is the International
yeah,
Standard Organization, which is supposedly the regulatory authority for oils. Not that I think they actually seem to go and test what's in bottles, but their parameters for lavender is that the linalool should be anywhere between 20 to 45% of the oil. So linalool should take up anywhere from 20 to 45%. And they're like, well, so if one of the oils has got 20% and one of them's got 45%, that's that's over 100% difference in the linalool content. Like, how can you? There's that's just so wide that it doesn't mean it just doesn't make the you don't know what you're getting at all, and that's if it is actually a pure oil. So that was exactly what you were saying. doTERRA's minimum is 30% and maximum is 35, and their mean is 33, and their standard deviation from that, so you'll always get within 1% of that, and that's what they've considered to be the absolute optimal amount of linalool. So they never go outside of their standard deviation sort of allowance, and that's why not only is it pure, but it is it's the most therapeutic and most potent, because it's what we're actually wanting therapeutically. And you went through quite a lot of all the stats with that, which was amazing. And
the PB Restore have got, so that product has got free training available on the doTERRA training website. So it's really I mean, I don't know whether they'll go into this much detail. I would presume they probably would, but I would definitely go into, I've already signed up for it, I just haven't done it yet. Because the money that I've spent over the years on friendly bacteria, and everyone sort of thinks they can have a Yakult and it's the same thing. Well, it definitely isn't. So it's definitely worth going to do that free training if you can, just to learn about this product. So I just think this on its, even if you only sell this to somebody, it's gonna make a massive difference to them.
And one thing they said about the probiotic was that 35%, was it? I need to look at my notes. There's too many notes. 35%.
35% of Europeans take
some sort of probiotic. 35.5% of all Europeans are taking some form of probiotic, and most are formulated 15+ years ago. They're limited provision, exactly. And so there's a comparison with. So this is compared to the PB Assist, which we had, which is still better than anything on the market. And this is the European version, which is slightly different to the US version. So that hence my terrible editing that doesn't look good here, but that just gives you an idea of the upgrade that this product has had. And then, sorry, again, terrible quality, but this is showing like some of the leading. So we're not comparing against something like Yakult that's basically sugar, and just it's actually bad for your gut, let alone trying to be good. But these are actually the sort of supposedly good ones, and this shows the difference there as well. I don't know if I've got anything more on that. Oh yeah, and then there's the PB Assist, which so the PB Assist is the sachets, and there's no crossover. So these have got different strains of probiotic in them. So you can take both, these ones are safe for kids. And they're also bringing out electrolyte later in the year, and we got to sample that. And that's in a liquid form. So it's like a sachet like this, but you tear it off and you pour it into water. And that will be coming later in the year. Yeah. And Kasia, what was your highlights outside of what we've spoken about?
1 second. 1 second, because I'm just trying to find. I've got some notes here. Okay. So when they were talking about the new product, PB Assist Plus, yeah, so it's the PB
Yeah.
Assist Plus, and the other one is PB Restore, I think. Are
Yeah.
they? Yeah.
Yeah. So the PB Restore is the one that's in the tub with the, I haven't got a photo of it here, but they're like the capsules, the double capsule where the prebiotic is in the outside and then the probiotic and postbiotic is in the inner capsule.
Yeah. So the PB Assist Plus is different than the PB Assist.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
I think that the PB Assist that we had before had only how many? 3 of one. I think only 3 probiotics. Yeah, is that correct? Yeah, 3, 1, 2,
I can
3.
have a look.
Yeah,
Oh, it
and
was set us. Yeah.
but the new one has got 13. It combines 13 probiotic strains and 1 prebiotic fiber for healthy gut colonization. And I've got some notes here why it is so important to have this variety of diversity of bacteria. And they were saying that this. So I've lost it. Yeah. Yeah, they were saying that the bacteria in our bodies are also unique, and we are all different, and this bacteria in our body, they have different makeup, and they produce different postbiotic metabolites. So I didn't know before what those postbiotic metabolites were, but when we consume the bacteria basically consume prebiotics, yeah. So and then the probiotics bacteria are producing postbiotics. So yeah, so the prebiotics are the food for the bacteria, right? Am I understanding it correctly? So what I'm trying to say is that the actual product, I don't think it contains postbiotics. It contains the food for the bacteria, and then which is prebiotics, and yeah, I don't want.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. So
Yeah,
the postbiotics are created from
they are
the
created. Yes,
probiotics. So
they
they
are
give it all the
created.
right fuel so that it creates it itself within there. Yeah. Yeah. And so my notes, I've got actually sort of link it to the next thing as well. What I really loved that they said was how our microbiome is like its own universe. It's all connected. And they really related it to the forest and how forests are biomes. So the trees and the plants feed the animals, and then the animals, also it's like a huge web where they're all coexisting and living synergistically together. And the interactions between them strengthen the biome. So underneath, we've also got underneath what you don't even see. There's a whole network of bacteria, fungi, viruses, and that are also in the leaves. And this is really replicated in the body, just is this huge invisible organ. So the microbiome functions like a huge invisible organ. That's what I've put. So
I've got down that we've
yeah.
got 70 million in our bodies. We have 70 trillion bacteria,
Yeah.
but only 35 trillion human cells.
Yeah.
So we have twice as many bacterias in our body than we actually do human cells.
Mm-hmm.
And 70% of our immune system is actually in our gut, which is why it's so important that we have good, microbiome and biome and a healthy gut.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
I definitely think it's well worth everybody having a look at that training. It's on doTERRA. I think it's training.doTERRA.com. So have a look on there. They've got some really good courses on there.
Yeah,
Thanks,
it's
thank
brilliant.
you
So
for
Yeah,
that.
it's been there,
done
Thank you.
training.doterra.com, and you can put your
That's
ID
it.
in. Yeah,
Yeah.
fantastic. And so what I really loved is how they really linked this sort of looking at the forest biome with our microbiome. And then the next thing that they released was the Shinrin Yoku forest bathing blend. I don't know if this is going to play.
Is alive. Ground yourself by feeling the roots, grass, and leaves beneath your feet, connecting you to the earth. Clear your mind by focusing on every little sound. The breeze blowing softly through the branches, the birds singing in the distance, the stream flowing freely. Breathe in. The crisp, fresh air fills your lungs. The aromas of evergreen trees, moss, and rain center and relaxing. There is peace and tranquility. This is where you belong. Connect to nature with Shinrin Yoku.
Yeah, so the beautiful Shinrin Yoku blend is in the convention kit and it will be available soon. I don't know if you can see this picture of Nicola here because we were all given this top secret envelope with a little vial and we didn't know what was in it, but that is the Shinrin Yoku blend in there. And then there was an amazing would you want to talk about it, Kasia?
I missed that. Oh, this
No,
one.
the
Sorry.
experience.
The experience place, because I unfortunately I missed the Shinrin Yoku presentation when Emily Wright was talking about it. But this immersive place was yeah, that was really nice because they had this huge screen with, you know, you could see the woods and the waterfalls and everything, and you cannot see it here, but there were plants around, and in each pot there was a tiny this portable diffuser with Shinrin Yoku oil in it, so you could smell it. It was like a immersive experience. You could smell the oil in this little room, and you can just, you know, lie down on the floor like Alison is here, just or meditate, because you could listen to a guided meditation at the same time and just immerse yourselves. So I found it nice and interesting. My friend who's on the right here, Agnieszka, she well, she had a different experience because she could sense that it wasn't like the because of that moving picture, and you know, she's got some sensitivity when it comes to this, so she didn't enjoy it as much. Doesn't matter, it was still very nice. An immersive experience. Yeah, beautiful smell. It's just beautiful. This very calming. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the things I thought when I smelled it, because I know Nicola and I already have it, but when I smelled it, it's quite citrusy, and I thought this doesn't smell like the forest to me. But they actually explained the chemistry of it. So what they actually did is they went into the forest and took a sample of the actual air and analyzed the chemistry, like the chemical compounds within the air, and then they've created a blend that actually specifically matches the chemistry. So it's not necessarily full of, or like the wood oils that you'd expect to actually necessarily smell in the forest, but the sense that you get when you walk through the forest from the chemical compounds, they've made that exact match with not, you know, with some different oils. So it's quite citrusy actually. But yeah, and it does give you that same feeling of just incredible calm. And they obviously trialed a few different combinations and they wanted something that smelt really lovely as well as matching the chemistry, and this is what they came up with. So I think it's a really interesting experience to have that.
There is actually a training course on that as well, on the training doTERRA. It's something stupid like 13, 40, 50. It's only about not even 20 minutes, and it just takes you through how they decided to set this up, what it means, why it's so good to connect with nature, and how you can bring that indoors. And then they take you through a guided forest visual meditation. So it's actually really lovely. So and that's 13 minutes. So it's really, honestly, the training on the doTERRA site is actually really good. So that's why I wanted to buy this. I think we got it back in January, didn't we? Or we ordered it in January. But have a look, because it's definitely worth learning about it, because it is such a beautiful smell and it does ground you.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And the ingredients are lemon, magnolia, patchouli, cardamom, Siberian fir, hinoki, cypress, lavandin, pink grapefruit, geranium, petit grain essential oils. So
Wow.
yeah, lots of different ones.
Yeah, amazing. Brilliant. Nicola or Akasha, did you want to share any other highlights?
Let me have a look. Yeah, I guess taking away from like the geeky side of it, which is my favorite bit, what I really loved is they talked about the sourcing of the materials, how farmers are finding it hard to find buyers that actually value purity, but for doTERRA, obviously it's their number one priority. And the fact that doTERRA always paying on time, because one of the examples was that oregano farmers in Turkey were waiting between 6 months and a year to get paid by other suppliers. doTERRA pay them no longer than 3 days. And they pay a fair price. And actually the guy who was presenting was talking about Copaíba in Brazil and how they paid the farmers such a fair price that other suppliers were actually contacting him to say stop overpaying, because we don't want to pay those prices for Copaíba anymore, because it actually bought the price for other cheaper, because we all know that the other suppliers adulterate and dilute their oils, but they just didn't want to pay that money anymore. So that was really good. And then the other thing was about how the Helping Hands foundations were rebuilding schools in villages, how they were renovating schools. There was one example, again in Turkey, for the oregano farmers, how they helped rebuild a school that housed up to 300 students. Oh, have you got that on there? Yeah. Yeah. So they've been putting insulation in, because previously children were having their lessons sitting in coats by the radiators, but now they don't have to wear their coats in class anymore. When Hawaii had their wildfires, doTERRA were there within days and handed out 8,300 kits to help people. So, I mean, they gave so many facts and figures. In Paraguay, they help build school dormitories for girls, because the school was 5 hours from the city, and they go there and they have lessons in the morning, and then in the afternoon they will learn about farming, and they finance computer labs, and there was just example upon example of all the good things that they're actually doing. And it's actually nice knowing that we're part of that, because we can all give to charity, and you never know whether your money actually gets to the people on the ground or whether it goes into the CEO's big fat pocket. But with doTERRA, you know that you can see where the money's going, and I just think that's just quite a humbling experience to sit there listening to all the good that they're doing.
Yeah, the total, they say, so far to date, Healing Hands has donated $53 million in over 100 countries. And that's, I don't know if that's just they put 704 matching projects, but obviously it's not all matching projects. Like that's where, wellness advocates are raising money.
Yeah.
But then, like responding to the actual villages, like Nicola was saying. So one of the examples was in Brazil, where they grow the green mandarin. They were struck by lightning and the school got damaged, and they or was that where, yeah, you said they rebuilt the school
Mm.
for them, so 200 kids were able to go back to school. And then there was a dental clinic in the Amazon that they were able to build and put people in there. So it's just really nice to know that it's, you know, we know the farmers are being well looked after, but actually the whole communities and they can respond in emergencies as well to actually look after them. Not only the farming communities, but so many other projects that aren't necessarily where they're farming things as well. And I had some other info on that. Oh, so they actually had the farmers on the stage. So they had the oregano farmer from Turkey, and was it the lemon farmer from Italy? Or
Yes.
Italy.
Yeah,
And they had them on
yeah.
stage, and that was really lovely because they were really, it was very, I think there's a lot of it was scripted because so many people were not speaking in their mother tongue. So when the farmers were up there, they were just chatting, which I really enjoyed that. And they said it was interesting because it's obviously not easy. They spoke quite a lot about the challenges, you know, the legislation that's brought in that suddenly lemon oil is not allowed to have this compound, which it naturally has because, you know, the laws suddenly decide it hasn't. So how are they going to maintain its most natural form? And really, because, you know, doTERRA's and the farmers' whole aim and life purpose is to provide nature, unadulterated nature to the customers. So how do they work with the legislation to make that work? And so they said what's amazing is well, the oregano farmer, he actually said it was really sweet, the words he actually used, because pardon me, was very natural. He said it's hard to find, what did he say? It's hard to find buyers who are dedicated to purity. They were his, you know, speaking in his lovely accent. And no other buyers are asked to come and visit the farm. Like it's just doTERRA who, like, they're when they go to these sort of events where they're trying to find farmers, the doTERRA are the ones that are just really invested in like what's the quality of the product, whereas everyone else that's coming around, all the buyers that are coming around are just interested in what's the cheapest price and where can we, you know, all the logistics side of it. And doTERRA wants to, you know, want to find who's actually got the best product, and then they want to come and visit and they want to come and find out how they can help the community. And they just said there's just no one else doing it the way that they're doing it. It's just such a different experience. And then, yeah, with all the fair and on-time payment and just the involvement of doTERRA, not just in receiving the product, but getting involved with the challenges. So when there are challenges, say with the legislation or their equipment or the whatever it is, doTERRA want to help and actually solve these problems with them on a ground level. Like they just said the involvement of the company is just like there's nothing else. No one else is doing it in this way. So that was really lovely here to like hear from the actual farmers who are working with doTERRA, just speaking really naturally about the way they're doing it. So it was, yeah, really beautiful. Okay, is there anything you wanted to add, either of you?
I
No, I
really,
just think, yeah, go on,
yeah.
sorry, go on.
No, just wanted to say that I really enjoyed listening to Dr. Russell Osgathorpe. Is that how you pronounce it? He's
Yeah.
the chief medical officer, and he was also talking about lavender. And he was saying, like, you know, that doTERRA lavender is the gold standard in the market, and it's he was talking about purity and consistency, and he said that out of 13 million, over 13 million shipments of lavender, there were only 97 adverse events recorded, which is 0.0007% chance of having an adverse event using doTERRA lavender. So this is how safe it is. Yeah. Very, very safe. And there was another guy, from, I think he was from Taiwan. I really liked listening to him.
David Chung, I think, he actually lives in America, I think.
Sorry, was he from Taiwan? The guy who went with his wife to America, to Utah, and their car started burning in the middle of the motorway, and this picture of him smiling and how he was saying that, you know, we can all, like, either cry and feel sorry for ourselves that's, you know, something bad happened to us, or you can just be grateful, you know. So this picture here, when he's actually smiling, and this car behind him, there's lots and lots of smoke. His car is burning, and he's so happy that he's going to Utah, I think, to meet the doTERRA top people. Yeah, that was really like inspiring and optimistic. Like, you can turn everything, you can either look at it that it's a misfortune or fortune. I just remember, I can't remember his name though.
Yeah, David Chung, I think, but it's
Oh, right.
HSIUNG.
Okay.
I'll just share. I know this, not everyone knows me, and God knows where this recording is going to go, but I'll just share anyway. But I actually took that on board this morning, because it, like, that idea of every thought can either be, you can be the victim, or you can be, you know, you can have the powerful, loving thought about it. And this morning, I went downstairs with all my little Italian gifts for the family. And I was like, oh, look, I've bought some pasta, and I bought some chocolate, and I bought some like chorizo, and I bought all these like little gifts, and then I looked around, and nobody was listening to me. And then my husband went, oh, and then he went, oh, Rolo, which is our dog's name, and gave him a big, oh, you're so cute. And I was just like, I might, like, you know, and I went immediately into this, like, I'm not being heard, I'm not being listened, I'm trying to do something, like blah blah blah, I'm this wounded victim. And that's, like, you know, my default thing. And I thought about him, and I thought, okay, I have a choice to be a victim, choice to be loving and compassionate. And I thought, okay, how can I turn this around? So I was like, isn't it lovely that my husband's got so much love for our dog, and I know that he also really loves me, but he's just distracted. And I love that he's just so innocent. And, you know, I just really sort of clung to that, and I thought, yeah, he is so full of love, and it's a good thing. So it's, you know, it's really amazing that we can put these things into practice that we hear at the convention. So yeah, that was my little takeaway from him. Yeah. And I've got a load of stats here, actually, for anyone that does like the stats. So I love the adverse reactions. Thank you for showing that one. They said this is just Europe 2023. There were 17.7 million products shipped in Europe in 2023, which works out to 83 drops a second are being used in Europe, which is 5,002 per minute. There was $326 million in revenue from Europe in 2023, and over 110 million paid out in commissions. So about a third of what is coming in is going back out to us as wellness advocates, which I think is what it is, matches what the compensation plan shows. But you know, it's just amazing to know that's doTERRA is producing that income for wellness advocates for us like us. So there's been 195,000 enrollments, which is on average 530 a day in Europe. There's 69 million product points been gifted in Europe in 2023, and 2.7 million products gifted. So I guess that's product of the month and BOGOs and that sort of thing. So yeah, they were some of the stats that they shared. There were plenty of other things, but certainly Europe is absolutely on and up. They said no one else is doing you know, got the growth quite like we've got here growing. You know, this is the time, it's happening here. I know, like, there's inflation and there's all these reasons why we think it's not happening, but it is actually happening. And we could really see that there were 62 new diamonds walking, you know, the most number of rank advancements that have ever happened in Europe happening. So we are absolutely on and up, and it was very clear to see that even just with the number of people there. It was a real high vibe, and I think that was really good for me to see, because the UK is just so tiny. So to come even from Australia and see how small it is here and think, okay, no, this is happening and growing, was really brilliant. I wanted to just share, what time is it? Keep it. One of my highlights was actually one of the Terra talks. So they had convention in the morning, and then at 1 o'clock you could go and look around. So half of the convention arena was this sort of workshop area, and you could do movement exercises. There was perfume making, there was bath salts making. You could try like the method they made the protein powders. You could sample things. There was obviously the Shinrin Yuku immersive experience. There was the oil bar. It was just really lovely, interactive, and there were different talks, and you could choose, pardon me, what you wanted to take part in. You could put a sticker up on the wall, like they had a thing, you put a sticker up when on the year that you joined, so you could see the sort of the timeline of when people were joining, and just a really lovely, and you write a little note on a flower, the sticker flower that went on this big bloom tree. So there was a big focus obviously on blooming as the name of the convention. So it was really lovely to have that interaction. But yeah, one of the highlights for me was actually a talk on hormones by two very young women. I was just like, having, you know, obviously dealt with in the menopause field about hormones, to see two very, yeah, beautiful young women talking about it. But they were absolutely packed. I think I took more notes from them than anybody else. But they were absolutely brilliant. So I might even do a separate talk on them separately. But they were talking all about the brain and the gut-brain connection. They're saying 85% of people experience PMS, women, sorry, 75% experience painful periods, 10% of women are experiencing endometriosis. Yeah. And that takes an average of 9 years to diagnose. So it's actually probably higher than that. 5 to 10% of people with PCOS and 5 to 10% of women, sorry, with hypothyroidism. And they said fertility is declining currently at 1% a year, which is pretty scary. So they were really looking at the root causes and how really just our wellness pyramid of eating well, looking after the gut, the proper supplementation, proper nutrition, the movement, the stress reduction and looking after our health, the low tox living, really reducing these stresses. And what's the other one? Sleep, that's the other one. And how, you know, it's just the typical wellness, doTERRA wellness pyramid, but how that really is just fundamental to hormone health. So they were absolutely fantastic. And they said there's a new study coming out of Australia in Newcastle University that's saying the average woman is ingesting 5 grams of microplastics a week. So that's the equivalent of a credit card a week that we're ingesting. So that was, yeah, quite frightening. And they talked about PMS. They talked about the importance of Terrazyme, also the Metapower oil balance, and then the Zendocrine complex, and also the oil as well, and how important Claricalm was. So that's a very, very brief summary of their talk, but it was absolutely brilliant. I really enjoyed that. And then the ending was obviously the beautiful Emily Wright talking about Blue Lotus. Kasha, did you want to share that? Did you have anything to share about that?
I haven't got any notes.
That's okay.
I haven't got. I've got some pictures. I just loved this. I absolutely loved her speech. She's such a great speaker, and she always cries, but it's inevitable because, you know, it's so emotional. So, well, she told the story. I've heard the story before about, you know, the Blue Lotus, how there was no Blue Lotus available on the market at all. You know, she fell in love with Blue Lotus, I can't remember how many, over 20 years ago, and then she found out that it was actually synthetic, and all Blue Lotus oils on the market were all synthetic. So she just really loved the smell, but she wanted to find something genuine. And then eventually she did find somebody in China, and they started cultivating this Blue Lotus. I don't know if you have any pictures. It looked beautiful. So yeah, I haven't got any notes, sorry. It was a very inspirational speech, but
yeah, it was lovely. And Tanya's saying my dog loves Blue Lotus, and that my bottle went missing the other day and I found it under her bed with the lid off. Oh, that's hilarious. Expensive dog. Yeah, I do have some some images, but they're on my phone, not my computer. I didn't transfer those across, but yeah, really beautiful images. I love that it's talking about the how it grows out of the mud.
Oh, yes.
So I don't think I actually wrote anything down because I think I was too busy just absorbed in.
Yeah.
I have written a couple of things. To grow out of the mud unsullied. These are her two things about Blue Lotus. First, to grow out of the mud unsullied. And secondly, to be principled and incorruptible. And to rise high above the water. So they come quite high up above the water. They don't sort of sit on the water. But they close overnight, but they're incorruptible and they bloom at dawn. So we can live our lives according to our highest ideals. So I don't know what she said, all the things in between.
Okay, and it's the oil of awakening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Blue Lotus is the oil of awakening.
Yeah. And she spoke about everybody having value, and she spoke about everybody belongs here. And her whole commitment with doTERRA was, you know, when she was in a job and she was surrounded by men, but her salary was half of everybody else's simply because she was a woman, even though she was adding the same amount of value. She really wanted to create a business where it was a place for women to be able to rise high, or women to rise as high as they chose to rise. And you know, that it's whatever's right for everybody, but it was everybody belongs here. That's what I really and apply. Yeah, a place where you can apply your gifts and talents in a world where you belong. And that really, yeah, she's just so beautiful.
That was her closing speech, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that staying humble but continuing to rise high. And that really is the Blue Lotus, which was really lovely. And then the blooming, there was a lot of quotes about blooming. So bloom is, I don't know who, I'm just taking these from various things, but bloom is if you want the whole world to be beautiful, and the passionate will be drawn to your passion. And then I've underlined everybody belongs here. So yeah, anything else that you wanted to add, Nicola or Kasia? No?
No, I think the energy was amazing.
Yeah.
Really high energy.
Yeah.
And it was just so lovely that because we got all got given doTERRA rucksacks, and just Turin was just, there was 8,000 people there, and Turin was just full of these blue rucksacks
Yeah.
everywhere. But everybody was like, hi, and it was just so
Yes.
lovely. I mean, even I got on the aeroplane, sat down next to this woman and started chatting to her, and she'd been to the conference, and she's only from Strood, which is just up the road from us.
Oh,
So it's just like, yeah. And then when we got off the plane, I was carrying Addison's bag, went to get it off, and I'd actually picked up somebody else's bag, and the woman in the seat behind was from the conference as well. So it was just like, it was amazing. There were so many people there.
yeah.
Really
I was on a
feels
different
like
flight because I was flying to Stansted. You were flying to
Yeah.
you were flying to Gatwick, but the Stansted, my flight was like, I think most people were from the
Yeah.
kind of like Lisa Rooney, the Sally Ship,
Oh wow.
all
Yeah.
this, Lindsay, Rebecca. Yeah, most of the people on the plane were from the
like a
convention.
doTERRA commissioned
So nice.
flight.
And they were like chatting on the plane, and this woman next to me on the left, I had a lady who was also at doTERRA. She was from the convention, but on the right I had a woman she was so grumpy, and she's saying, "Oh, these people, they are so noisy, and they are already planning to play a game. They've got no respect for." She was so grumpy. But then luckily, Nicoletta came, because we had different seats, but Nicoletta came to me before we took off, because the flight was 2 hours late anyway. And Nicoletta said, "There are 2 free seats next to me. Come over." So I went there and I sat with Nicoletta, and yeah, it was so nice. Yeah,
You didn't think to just spray some cheer in her face? No?
Yeah. And she was, she was wearing some perfume, which was so strong and horrible. So I was so happy when Nicoletta came and saved me, because anyway, the breakfast was also wonderful. I really enjoyed the breakfast. Santoshi and Adish invited the whole team for breakfast, and it was so lovely.
Yeah.
And the weather was gorgeous. So for the first 2 days when we were there, the weather wasn't too great. but it didn't matter too much because we were indoors anyway, and it wasn't too bad either. But the last day was just gorgeous and sunny, and we were sitting outside and dancing Zumba and eating this delicious food, and very, very good vibes and energy, and
Yeah.
yeah,
That was
very.
just such a high for me to be able to just
Yes.
relax, connecting with people. We had Adam
Yeah.
Barrowley there, we had Anastasia
Exactly, yeah.
from Australia,
Yeah.
and being able to connect with local people, like the people who actually live in Turin, and asking them, you know, what's working for you, what's not, you know, that it's those conversations that just are so valuable. That was, yeah, I felt on absolutely such a high after the breakfast, definitely.
Yeah, me
Yeah,
too.
quite
Yeah.
emotional, maybe
Yeah.
a bit overwhelmingly emotional, but yeah, it was really good.
And we also went to this restaurant, really nice
But yeah,
restaurant for the Michelin restaurant.
it was very nice.
Yeah, that was so nice.
Yeah,
And actually quite cheap compared to
amazing.
Yeah.
Everything, yeah. And yeah, I don't know if it'll be quite the same in Brussels next year. So for those who don't know, the next year's convention is in Brussels in the ING arena, which is only a 4-hour drive from Kent to where we are. So, or there's the train that we can get there from London. So really nice and close. Obviously, we can fly as well. So Nicola, well, there was actually a group who were on stage at convention because they had set them, they were from Switzerland, and when they saw this year's convention was in Turin, they gave themselves this, two people on the team sitting separately had the idea that we could hike there, and they went as a team and they took a few days and actually hiked over the mountain to the convention, and then they had them up on stage celebrating them. And I like giggled to said to Nicola, I was like, if it's in Calais next year, we'll hike. And then it's like, it's actually not that much further from Calais, but we're not hiking, are we?
No, definitely not.
But yeah, it's really not that much further. But brilliant. Okay, well, again, there's only so much we can share from such an amazing experience in an hour, but I will, lots of other things. So they had the Meta Power new flavor with 3 added ingredients. They've got this, all the sun care range, they went through lots of it. So just clicking through some of these slides here, that was about their deviation. Oh, people claiming to be the same as doTERRA, it's just not. They've got all the proof to show there's absolutely not. So this was the convention kit. So there's the or they're coming soon. So this wasn't the Mitre 2 Max, I don't think it was part of the convention kit, was it? But these will all be coming to the market soon. And then this was the highlights. So we'll end with this little video. We were going to start with it, but we'll end with this little video if it loads. And then we'll stop the recording at the end, and I'm happy to take any questions after that as well. So let's just play this.
Got a good day coming, and it's all I need. Everything I wanted is in front of me. Stuck it up and I'm down, sun is shining over me. I got a good thing coming, just wait and see. It's a good. There ain't nothing like this right here. Got me seeing things crystal clear. So high I can fight the moments, gonna feel. There's a fire underneath my feet. Got me rolling like a river deep. Let it flow, 'cause I know that my soul's to lift me up. Got a good thing coming, and it's all I need. Everything I wanted is in front of me. Stuck it up and I'm down, sun is shining over me. I got a good thing coming, just wait and see. It's a good thing.
watching that's reminding me about 20 other things I wanted to talk about and share, but yeah, I know we're short of time, but hopefully we've given you a bit of a flavor of convention, and the only way to really experience it is to be there. So I think you can book tickets to next year's at the most cheap price until midnight tonight. So maybe we can put that in the chat group, in the
Yeah,
chat.
and if necessary, you can get a refund until the end of the year without any admin fee, you know, should
Yeah,
circumstances
until
change.
25th of January, I think. Yeah,
Is
exactly.
it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You can get refund until 30 days before the convention.
Yeah, but there's like a 5% fee, which is
Admin
still hardly
fee.
Really?
anything. Yeah.
But only
Oh.
after January, but up to the end of the year, you can get it back. So
Oh, right.
it gives you time because, you know, it
Yeah.
means you can book it at the cheaper price and know you'll get a refund if things change.
Yeah, I'll just post the link to it in the chat for anybody who wants that. And we'll stop the recording now and ask any questions.